Will Bitcoin ever be replaced? Some people who don't understand Bitcoin argue that Bitcoin may be replaced by a better blockchain in the future, and therefore it's not a good store of value, and by the same token, no coin can be. There are some strong arguments that that's highly unlikely. 1. The network effect. Bitcoin is not just its code, but also the network of miners, validators and hodlers. The former can be forked, the latter cannot. Peter Schiff addresses this by giving the example of MySpace, a social network that became popular, but was subsequently replaced by Facebook. That's a fair example, but there are many factors that, in the opinion of many, amplify Bitcoin's network effect beyond the event horizon. 2. Bitcoin is not controlled or owned by an organization, corporation, government etc. In SEC lingo, it's a commodity, just like gold. People will always choose a monetary system that's controlled by no one, because they instinctively feel and know it's fairer, more robust and less prone to corruption than one owned or controlled by a corporation or a government, a security in SEC lingo. If any technology is to replace Bitcoin, it has to be commodity-like. So anything like Ethereum, Cardano, Solana etc. is out of the question. It cannot come from a corporation, it has to be a grassroots movement of good-willed people. There are commodity-like coins, e.g. Litecoin, a Bitcoin fork, which possesses properties that make it appealing. It's faster and cheaper. However, those forks are not as secure, not only because of the low hash rate, but also because they use the same SHA-256 hash function as Bitcoin. If a small number of Bitcoin miners colluded and switched to mining Litecoin instead, they could carry out a 51% attack on it. This brings us to the next point. 3. The blockchain trilemma, which states that it's difficult, if not impossible, to achieve decentralization, security and scalability in a single blockchain system. Bitcoin went for the first two, which of all the three choices, is the only one that can be the foundation of sound money. When it comes to money, security obviously cannot be compromised on, because no one will store generational wealth in a financial system that can be hacked and allow for wealth that took generations to accumulate to be lost in the blink of an eye. Decentralization is also of paramount importance, because insufficient decentralization leads to the concentration of power in the hands of an individual or organization. It's worth mentioning that the blockchain trilemma doesn't have a formal proof. One day, hypothetically, we may solve it and design a blockchain that's both secure, decentralized and scalable. But that's not a problem, because 4. Money is built in layers, built one on top of another, and this modularity makes it more robust. A modular money is preferable to a monolithic one, because it's extensible and less prone to bugs. Before fiat, the base layer of money was gold, which was decentralized and self-custodiable. However, it lacked portability, divisibility and convenience, so banks started issuing paper notes backed by gold, albeit not in a trustless way, which offered those properties where they were desired. Later on, other layers were added, credit cards, wire transfers, etc., allowing people to transact more quickly, knowing the net balance of the batch of transactions could be settled in gold at the end of the day. Until it couldn't. Similarly, with Bitcoin, secondary layers can help it scale and make it cheaper and faster where a trade-off against security is justified and called for, a cup of coffee being a good example. While it's impractical to use Bitcoin's base layer for such transactions, the Lightning Network allows you to do that almost instantaneously and at a sub-penny cost. 5. Other features can be added to Bitcoin via secondary layers. For example, many people like Monero-style privacy, but it has its own unit of account, or ticker, XMR, apart from other issues, like a low hash rate, making it easier to carry out a 51% attack on. There is little incentive for you to store a significant fraction of your net worth in it. Moreover, swapping between BTC and XMR is subject to volatility. For all we know, XMR may go to zero if, for example, a vulnerability is found within Monero's code. It makes sense to have one unit of account, BTC, regardless of the level of privacy desired, and have a Monero-grade privacy layer built on top of Bitcoin. If a bug is found and it turns out the promise of privacy is not delivered on, people can still move their BTC from the privacy layer to the base layer. The failure of a secondary layer is unlikely to considerably affect the value of the unit of account shared with the base layer. The Lightning Network already achieves a certain degree of privacy, and that can be further improved on as use cases arise. Similarly, ETH20-style tokens, smart contracts, credit card-style chargebacks, decentralized escrow protocols etc. can be added as secondary layers. They may be dead ends, they may fail for one reason or another, but the base layer will remain unaffected. The blocks will keep on being mined as usual regardless of the outcome of those experiments. Bitcoin's settlement layer as sound money, and a financial system cannot be built on something that's not sound money. 6. While with technology, in general, newer is better, that doesn't apply to the base layer of money, which we want to be secure rather than feature-rich. It's more like wine, the older, the better. Bitcoin has had 100% uptime in the past 10 or so years. The community of Bitcoin core developers, miners, validators etc. understands the meaning of, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. The history of hash rate wars among Bitcoin forks show us that people are not keen on changing the parameters of what has proven itself to be a foundation for sound money, because it's better to have a sound money than not to. Bitcoin draws upon the collective wisdom of mankind, its desire to seek fairness, stability and harmony. It leverages its potential in unprecedented ways. As the first blockchain, Bitcoin will always be the oldest, with all the advantages that old age brings. Bitcoin achieves its small set of goals, it does little, but it does it well. It leverages its potential in unprecedented ways. That's what people expect of the base layer of money. Gold, Bitcoin's predecessor, was like Bitcoin in many ways too. It was old, simple and did little. It took a giant leap in technology and a shift in consciousness to take money from gold to the next level that is Bitcoin, with the intermediate brain fart that was fiat. It took thousands of years, and while the next leap may take orders of magnitude less, it would have to be so revolutionary that your current state of wealth would probably be rendered irrelevant anyway. One thing that could threaten Bitcoin's role is total post-scarcity, a situation where all needs of all humans are met without the need for work. However, when that materializes, it will no longer matter, because you will need neither Bitcoin nor any of its hypothetical successors. In the meantime, to bridge the gap between now and post-scarcity, it only seems prudent to get some sats. Thanks for watching.